J.P. Morgan is a name that is synonymous with American finance and banking. His influence in the late 1800s and early 1900s was so significant that he was often referred to as the Napoleon of Wall Street. However, while Morgan's legacy is now cemented in history, his impact on the United States during his time cannot be overstated. In the face of significant financial struggles, Morgan played a critical role in keeping America afloat, not only once but countless times, which set the stage for the country's continued growth and prosperity. J.P. Morgan's fingerprints are all over some of the most pivotal moments in American history. Whether it was providing crucial financing for the construction of the Panama Canal, helping to fund the U.S. government's efforts during World War I, or single-handedly saving the nation's financial system from collapse during the Panic of 1907, Morgan's contributions were truly remarkable. But his influence didn't stop at the boardroom door. Morgan also played a critical role in a number of transformative infrastructure projects, such as the New York subway system. In this video, we will explore J.P. Morgan financing America during its financial struggles. From his early life and beginnings in banking to his legacy and impact on the modern financial industry, we will delve into how Morgan's actions shaped America's future. J.P. Morgan was born on April 17, 1837 in Hartford, Connecticut. He came from a family of financiers and businessmen, including his father, Junior Spencer Morgan, who was a partner in the banking firm George Peabody and Company. Morgan attended the English High School of Boston, which was known for its rigorous curriculum, and later enrolled at the University of Göttingen in Germany to study mathematics and philosophy. After completing his studies in Europe, Morgan returned to America and embarked on a career in finance. He joined his father's firm, which had been renamed J.S. Morgan and Company, in 1857. Despite starting at the bottom rungs of the company, Morgan quickly distinguished himself with his intelligence and his financial acumen. In 1861, at the young age of 24, he was made a partner in the firm, a testament to his remarkable talent and hard work. However, Morgan was not content to rest on his laurels. He had grand ambitions and a burning desire to achieve greatness and leave a lasting legacy. He looked up to Napoleon Bonaparte as a role model and sought to emulate the French emperor's qualities of leadership, determination, and strategic brilliance. Like Napoleon, Morgan was fiercely ambitious and believed that he could make a significant impact on the world. So in 1871, Morgan left his father's firm and co-founded Drexel Morgan and Company, which became a leading investment bank on Wall Street. The firm specialized in financing railroad projects, which were critical to the expansion of the American economy in the latter half of the 19th century. Morgan's shrewd business acumen and ability to spot lucrative opportunities allowed the firm to grow rapidly. As the financial landscape of the country changed, Morgan recognized the need for consolidation in the banking industry. In 1895, he orchestrated the merger of Drexel Morgan and Company with the Philadelphia-based banking firm of J.S. Bache and Company and the New York-based banking house of Dabney Morgan and Company to form J.P. Morgan and Company, which quickly became one of the most powerful banking institutions in the world. However, his rise to prominence in the banking industry was not without its challenges. In 1864, he suffered a severe nosebleed that nearly killed him, and he also had to deal with intense competition from other banking firms. Some of his biggest rivals included Kuhn, Loeb and Company, the Rothschild family's banking operations, and the banking empire of the Rockefeller family. Despite these obstacles, Morgan continued to build his reputation in the industry, playing a key role in financing the construction of railroads that were crucial to the expansion of the American economy in the late 1800s. Unbeknownst to many, the flourishing economy was about to suffer a devastating crash in the years to come. In 1895, the United States was facing a major crisis with its gold reserves, which were rapidly dwindling. The situation was so dire that some experts feared the country would have to abandon the gold standard altogether. At the time, the U.S. Treasury held $67 million in gold, while the outstanding gold certificates totaled $102 million. This meant that the U.S. government was essentially borrowing more money than it had in gold reserves. P. Morgan was a private citizen and not a government official. He had a close relationship with several U.S. presidents. During this time, he was called upon by President Grover Cleveland to intervene and help the government maintain the gold standard. Morgan agreed to organize a syndicate of banks to buy government bonds in exchange for gold. He was able to secure a $65 million gold loan from Europe, which helped stabilize the gold reserves and restore confidence in the US financial system. Morgan's efforts to save the gold standard were critical in preventing a major economic catastrophe. Had the US been forced to abandon the gold standard, it could have led to hyperinflation, devaluation of the currency, and a potential collapse of the US economy. Morgan's leadership in this crisis demonstrated his unparalleled expertise in finance and his ability to navigate complex economic challenges. Morgan's role in saving the gold standard cemented his reputation as one of the most powerful and influential figures in American history. However, little did the nation know that Morgan would once again have to intervene and play a pivotal role in preventing another financial crisis. While J.P. Morgan is best known for his contributions to the banking industry, he also played a crucial role in financing the construction of many of America's most important infrastructure projects. One of his most significant contributions in this regard was his acquisition of Carnegie Steel in 1901. At the time, Andrew Carnegie was one of the wealthiest men in America, thanks in large part to his successful steel company. However, Carnegie was ready to retire and wanted to sell his business. Morgan saw an opportunity and decided to acquire Carnegie Steel, which was renamed US Steel. The deal was worth over $1 billion, making it one of the largest business deals in history at the time. With this acquisition, Morgan became one of the most powerful men in America, controlling not only the country's banking industry, but also one of its most important steel industries. In addition to his involvement in the steel industry, Morgan also played a critical role in the development of the New York subway system. At the turn of the 20th century, New York City was experiencing significant growth, and its existing transportation systems were inadequate to handle the influx of people. Morgan recognized the need for a modern subway system and helped to provide the financing necessary to make it a reality. The subway system proved to be a game-changer for New York City, allowing for easier transportation throughout the city and contributing to its continued growth and prosperity. Morgan was also involved in other important infrastructure projects, such as the construction of the Panama Canal, which at the time was considered as one of the most ambitious infrastructure projects in the world due to numerous challenges, including engineering difficulties and a lack of funding. But those were no problem for Morgan, as he proudly helped finance the project. Overall, his contributions to these projects helped to shape the course of American history and cemented his legacy as one of the most important figures of his time. Returning to the topic of finance, J.P. Morgan played a crucial role in financing the US government during some of its most trying times. In particular, during World War I, the United States, still an emerging global power, lacked the financial resources to sustain a prolonged conflict. Morgan recognized the gravity of the situation and stepped in to help. Through his extensive connections and expertise, he facilitated the government's procurement of much-needed funding for the war effort. His efforts helped to ensure that the US had the financial backing it needed to emerge victorious from the conflict. Morgan's involvement in the war effort was crucial in securing the Allied victory, and his contributions did not go unnoticed. President Woodrow Wilson recognized his contributions by awarding him the Distinguished Service Medal, the highest civilian honor that the US government can bestow. Morgan's involvement in government finance did not end with World War I, however. In the 1920s, he was also involved in helping the government restructure its debt after the war. He was able to negotiate favorable terms for the government and helped to ensure that the US remained financially stable in the aftermath of the conflict. But this was not the end of it, as Morgan had to step in yet again to save the US economy for another time. In 1907, the US economy was hit by a financial crisis known as the Panic of 1907. The panic was triggered by a failed attempt to manipulate the stock market, which led to a run on banks and the collapse of several major financial institutions. The panic resulted in a severe liquidity shortage, with many banks and businesses struggling to obtain the funds they needed to continue their operations. In the midst of this crisis, J.P. Morgan was called upon once again to use his financial expertise and connections to help stabilize the economy. He gathered a group of bankers and investors, which became known as the Morgan Group, to provide loans and liquidity to banks and other institutions in need. Morgan himself contributed millions of dollars to the effort, and the group ultimately provided over $100 million in loans to help ease the liquidity crisis. Morgan's intervention was crucial in preventing a total collapse of the US financial system. His actions were widely praised and helped to restore confidence in the economy. However, they also sparked criticism and accusations of monopolistic behavior, as some saw Morgan's actions as a way of consolidating his own power and influence over the banking industry. Despite the controversy, Morgan's actions during the Panic of 1907 cemented his reputation as a financial titan and demonstrated his unwavering commitment to maintaining the stability and integrity of the US financial system. Morgan's legacy also extends to modern times. He helped to establish the Federal Reserve System, which still serves as the central banking network of the United States today. His methods of finance and investment banking set the standard for the modern financial industry, and his influence can still be seen in the practices of banks and financial institutions around the world. In addition to his contributions to finance and infrastructure, Morgan was also known for his philanthropy. He donated large sums of money to various causes, including education and the arts. His legacy as a businessman and philanthropist has inspired generations of entrepreneurs and philanthropists to use their wealth and influence to make a positive impact on society. Overall, J.P. Morgan's financing of America helped to shape the country's history and economy, leaving a lasting legacy that continues to be felt today. In conclusion, J.P. Morgan's impact on American finance and infrastructure cannot be overstated. He played a pivotal role in the development of the U.S. economy during the late 19th and early 20th centuries, helping to finance important projects and secure funding for the government during times of crisis. His legacy continues to influence the financial industry to this day, with the formation of J.P. Morgan Chase being a testament to his enduring impact. Morgan's contributions to American finance and infrastructure helped to shape the country into the economic powerhouse that it is today, and his influence on the financial industry will continue to be felt for generations to come.